Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and great times on the channel as always. Simon's done some extra solving, and Patreon is the venue to see his effort at a new Fistamafel. Not sure quite when, but do check it out. Do join us there as well. We've got a fantastic new sudoku hunt coming out on the 1st of June by Blobs, and based on Lord of the Rings. I'm delighted with it. It's got great artwork, great puzzles, which is of course a very important part of it, and even a good storyline. Do check it out, it's going to be fun. One of the best things we've brought you, I think. We've also of course got all of our apps, which are amongst the best things we brought you, and our sudoku, Sven Sudoku, and our merchandise. All really good stuff on the links under the video. But the first link, and quite a long rule set to this puzzle, which is called, I think rather brilliantly, it's called Where Does It All End, which is a lament that many of us older people find ourselves using all too much, particularly in these days of snap elections. And but in this case, it's referring to where do these lines end. And I am going to try and explain the rules. They are long, and they are multiply various, but if you've done our puzzles before and you've seen the types of lines that we've encountered before, I think this will amuse you. If you haven't, and if this is just all Greek to you, please bear with me, because I think I'm going to enjoy myself. A. Peterson has prepared a number of puzzles for us in the past, and they've always been really fun, and that's what I'm expecting today. So here are the rules to Where Does It All End by A. Peterson. Normal Sudoku rules apply. We'll be putting 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. The grid is covered in fog. Correctly entered digits remove fog in surrounding cells. Cells with a grey square, that's not these foggy, fully covered squares. I'm sure when we get to a grey square, we'll recognise it as a slightly different looking grey square. They contain an even digit. Now, the lines. Each line has a distinct colour. Lines don't branch, cross, and they don't branch or cross each other. They only move orthogonally, and every line has a length of 3 or more. So those are the basic rules about lines. Now, what type of lines are they? Well, the box location of each line's ends determine its type or types. If a line ends in box 1, it's a 10 line, which means that the line can be broken into segments such that each segment sums to 10. If a line ends in box 2, it's a Renban line, and that means that there's a set of consecutive digits on the line, but not necessarily in consecutive order. So a line that ended here might say 7, 3, 5, 4, 6. Consecutive, non-repeating digits, but in any order. Now, that means that if a line began in box 1 and ended in box 2, it would be both a 10 line and a Renban line. That's how this rule set works. So I will now go through the rule sets for the other boxes. So box 3 up here on the right, any line that ends there is a German whisper line, and that means adjacent digits on the line have a difference of at least 5. 4 is a same difference line. This is maybe the rarest one, where adjacent digits along this line have the same difference for all pairs. Then in box 5, we have a between line, where digits that are not on the end of the line are mathematically or numerically between the 2 digits on the ends of the line. Then a line that ends in box 6 is a modular line, and that means for every 3 consecutive digits along the line, one of them is from 1, 4, 7, one of them is from 2, 5, and 8, one of them is from 3, 6, and 9. You can kind of visualize the keyboard split vertically for those. Then a line ending in box 7 is a Nabner line, which means none of the digits on the line either repeat nor are consecutive with any other digit along the line. A line ending in box 8 is a region sum line, where the box borders break the line into segments with the same sum. And a line ending in box 9 is an entropic line. This time we're splitting the keyboard horizontally and every group of 3 cells has a low digit from 1, 2, 3, a middly one from 4, 5, 6, and a high one from 7, 8, 9. I mean, that is a rule set and a half, isn't it? We've probably had to chop something out of the description field to accommodate that rule set. And if that's the case and you're missing something in the description field that should be there, check another day's video. That's what I would say. But those are the rules, and I'm going to enable the pen tool and not the letter tool, because I think we might be drawing lines in this puzzle. We shall see. Do give it a try on that first link out of the video. I'm going to restart the clock. It's taken 6 minutes at least to explain, well no, that was to talk about things and explain the rules. Let's get cracking. Stop talking. Right. Now, each line is a distinct colour. I hope I mentioned that one. I think I did. And yeah, your colour palette skills are necessary. I think those two are exactly the same shade of yellow. So this is the same line, and they're quite far apart. And more than that, the line has to, it can't cross this blue line. Or, yeah, it can't cross it. That's the thing to know. And the next thing to know is we know what 2 types of line this is. It's in box. It has an end in box 2, so it's a Renban, and an end in box 8, so it's a region sum line as well. Now, the point about it being a Renban line is it's got a maximum length, and that is 9 cells. And once we take it round here, we are going to find that 9 is also the minimum length of this line. So let's have a yellow line coming round to there at least. I hope you can see that yellow line against the background. And then it must join up to the other end of the line efficiently, by which I mean moving 1 cell at a time, either west or south in this case. We know these lines only move orthogonally, so there's no diagonals, which would make a big difference. And this is a region sum line as well. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is share a secret. And the way I express the secret normally isn't good enough today. I normally tell you that every row, column and box adds up to the same number, which is true, and it will be true today. But it's not the important thing. The important thing at this moment is that we know the total of this line, because this line has got to be at least 9 cells long and at most 9 cells long, at least because that's what we geometrically need to connect the 2 ends, at most because it's only allowed to have 9 different digits on it. And it therefore is 9 digits long. It has all the different digits on it, and those 1 to 9 add up to the same number as every row, column and box, 45. So the total of the line is 45, and it's a region sum line. So we have to find a division of this line into equal sums in each box. I mean, there's a couple of ways you could look at this. You could work out all the factors of 45. There aren't that many, actually. They're kind of 1, 3, 9, 15, 45. I don't think there's any others. But maybe the simpler way to look at it is that there is a 1 cell part of this line, and yet the line has to go through, well, how many boxes? It's already gone in 3, and it's going to hit a 4th, and to transition between box 6 and box 8, it's going to have to go into a 5th. I think you'll quickly work out that we are looking at 5 segments of the line, each worth 9, and we can stick a 9 in that cell, and it's right because it clears fog. And we can actually do better. We can draw in the whole yellow line probably, because it's going to be 9 and a bunch of pairs. Yeah, I mean it is. 8 has to go on this yellow line somewhere. And that must go with a 1. 7 has to go on it. That must then go with a 2, etc. So we're looking at 4 pairs and a single 9. So we've got to come out of box 6 having had a pair there. We've got to continue being efficient, and we end up with that shape of yellow line. Now, we don't know anything about the numbers on it. We know that one of these pairs is a 1-8, one's a 2-7, one's a 3-6, and one's a 4-5. And I will observe that the blue line in the central box is a between line, but I have no idea about where it goes or what numbers are on it. So I'm hoping that this revealed orange line is the next step. I think it must be. That is the beauty of a fog puzzle, is you get to find out where the next step is because there's nowhere else it could be, often. Now, I'm sure this orange line joins up here, but I probably need to prove it. Okay, what type of line is it? It has one end in box 3 and one end in box 6. It's a German whisper and a modular line. Now, what I want to prove, I think it's hardly necessary, is it, to prove this, that the line doesn't go all around here and then there? I mean, I don't know. Okay, maybe it is necessary to prove that. I mean, wouldn't it be a wonderful trick if A. Peterson had done that? Honestly, it would, but let's have a think about the line. So it's German whisper and modular. So there's no 5 on it. The digits alternate between high and low, but they also alternate in a different way, because every 3 cells you have one from 147, one from 258 and one from 369. And that means that every 3rd cell along the line, well, it means, does it mean that this is an impossible start to the line? Okay, let's think about the pairs that are possible. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, 6, the digit 6, if it appears on the line anywhere, can only pair with the digit 1. And we call it monogamous because it's only got one possible partner. And the same is true for 4, which can only pair with 9. Now, yes, 7 can normally pair with 1 or 2, but in this line, in terms of neighbours, it cannot pair with 1, because that would break the modular rule, because they're in the same modulo, 7 and 1. So 7 is now monogamous on this orange line, and it only has a possible partner of 2. And that must work the other way round. What is it? 3 can't partner 9 and only has a partner of 8. So on this orange line, there are 4 monogamous digits. And if we did extend the line so that it went this way to start with, hidden in the fog, it would be impossible, because you'd have to fit 4 monogamous digits into those 7 cells. And a monogamous digit in a box, for all of these cells, their 2 neighbours see each other in the box. Well, not for that one, but for those ones. And for that one, its 2 neighbours see each other in row 1. So all those 5 digits I've just highlighted, 6 digits I've just highlighted, cannot be monogamous, and you can't pack the 4 monogamous digits into that area. It's absolutely impossible that the line goes that way. I am glad to have proved that, although I was not really going to consider it necessary because it's so unlikely. Anyway, it is proven, and the line therefore does that and is a 5-cell line, which is a lot easier to fulfill, I presume. Now, how do we fulfill it? These 3 are one of each modulo. So we've had 9 already in the box. Both 3 and 6 are amongst our new family of monogamous digits. So neither of them can go in this cell because their neighbours see each other. 3 can only be accompanied by 8, and 6 can own... Oh, but not if 3 is here. Or maybe that is what's happening. No. This cell cannot be a monogamous cell either. And that's because this line is modular as well. If you were to put a 3 in this cell, let me just illustrate that. If you were to put a 3 there, the only digit that can go here now is 8 to obey the German whisper and the modular rule. And the only digit that can go here in exactly the same way is 8. But this trio of digits disobeys the modular rule, because you go from a 258 digit to a 369 digit and then another 258 digit. So there's no 147 digit in that group. So that digit cannot be monogamous. That digit cannot be monogamous. The digit from 369 on this line is monogamous and it must sit there. So that is this digit. This one is from that same set, and by exactly the same principles as that cell, this one can't be monogamous either, and that must be another 9. And we've started. Oh, and we've got to obey the German whisper part of the rule as well. So this cell is either 8 or 1, being the partner of this one, the monogamous partner. But 1 and 8 are sneaky, they're not necessarily monogamous. So 8 could go with, I suppose, 1. It can't go with 2 because of the modulo rule. Actually, if that is 8, this is definitely 1. If that's 1, this is impossible because on a German whisper line we have to alternate between high and low. Sorry, I'd forgotten how relevant that was going to be. So look, we've got stuff going on here. 3 and 8. This digit is from the 825 set and must be a 2. This one is from the 147 set and is definitely a 1 by the whisper rule. Okay, so we've finished a line. Hip hip hooray. Now, I'm sure we have to, well, that can't be a 9, but nothing else has been learnt about blue really. Let's go to red, which has got an end in box 3. So it's another German whisper. And this digit is 2, 4, 6 or 7. It can't be 5 on the whisper. Now, we're going to have to speculate. Are we going to have to speculate on where this digit ends, or whether it can travel through this, or whether this line, where this line ends, I mean, or whether this line can travel through box 2? Oh. No, I mean, we can't do these pairs. We know that's not 2, 7 and that's not 8, 1. That's not enough information to do the yellow pairs. So I am going to have to think about this. Right. What is its other end? If it's in box 2, it's a Renban line as well as a German whisper line. That is impossible. The first 2 cells on a German whisper line are a high one and a low one, however long the line is, even if it's 2 cells. But for it to be a Renban line, you have to have a kind of bridge between high digits and low digits, which includes 5. And you cannot put 5 on a whisper. So this red line does not end in box 2. So we now know it carries on at least to there. And then it has to carry on from there and get out of box 2. But could it end in box 1, which is 10 line, or box 5, which is between line, or box 4, or any of the others? Okay, I don't know. So we're going to have to consider what comes next on the line. So it's a German whisper is all we know so far. So this next cell, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 1 or 2 at the moment. But according to that, how on earth do we learn anything from that? I haven't forgotten a rule. High, low, high. We've got to alternate between high and low. Oh, so if that... No, that could be a 6, and that would be a 1. I don't know. I mean, how am I meant to guess where this line ends? Is there a way? Is there a way to guess that? I know it doesn't end in box 2. We've established that because it's not a Renban. Can it be a 10 line and end in box? I mean, I feel like it probably is a 10 line, but how do I know? Why can't it come down here? I suppose that would force the blue line to do this, and then, but the blue line doesn't really have to get out. It could stop there quite comfortably. Okay, so this is the same. I don't know, I'm missing something here. There doesn't seem to me to be any information on where the red line is going. I'm getting a bit distressed by this now. Is there sudoku that I haven't done? We've got a 9 in one of those cells. That doesn't look helpful at all. This line, is that telling me anything? How can it be? That's not 2, 7. This is 4, 5, 6, or 7 by sudoku. That's just not interesting. I'm not having that. That's interesting. This between line? Wow, I don't understand. Where does it all end, A. Peterson? 9, 8, 3, 1. Okay, let's think about this red line again. Maybe we can rule out it being a 10 line, but that doesn't tell us what its path is until we clear some fog. This pair of digits, obviously these 6 are all different. I don't know. I just don't think the yellow line does anything, but I'm left with nothing to actually do. What on earth am I missing here? We've finished that one. There's no information to be gained from looking at orange. Surely I've done all that can be done on yellow so far. Blue is just not telling me anything, so it's red. Right, it's German whisper, so it can't go through a 5. Is that going to limit its possible length somehow? Not significantly. Okay, I've got to come up with something. Right, I mean, if it started with 9, 8, 1, 4, 5, 3 there. I just don't get this. I don't get what I can do. Oh, it's a weird puzzle. It's freaking me out a bit now. Just feels like it's mutant in some way. I feel like I've understood everything I can possibly understand to this point, and I can't understand this puzzle. Okay, if that was a 4, that's sort of unlike, well, if that was a 4, this is a 9, then this can't be a 10 line. I mean, I don't know that it's good. That would rule out it stopping in box 1. And if this was a 6, it couldn't be a 10 line either, because that would be a 1, and you'd have to have a 3 next. And you couldn't because of the whisper rule. So if it's a 10 line, this can't be 4 or 6. It would have to be 2, followed either by 7, 1 or by 8. Have I completely gone mad and misanalyzed a line? This is a German whisper. It's in box 3. So it could start 6, 1, 7, 1, 7, 2, 4, 9, or 2, 7, 2, 8, or 2, 9. That's definitely true. Do any of those have any effect on the other cells? Is it the between line? What can I do with the between line? I mean, this could be a 1, and that would give it flexibility. But I don't see why this couldn't be a line going 4, 5, 6, and just stop there. And this one, this yellow one, 2, 7 can't be there. So they're either here, here, or here. But that doesn't stop this being 2 or 7, because it could be the same as that. Have I missed a rule? There's meant to be a grey square, at least one somewhere. We haven't come across that. I mean, it would be very cruel if this was like a trick treasure chest where the fog has cleared and revealed a grey square, and I can't understand it. That's not what's happening. Come on, think, Mark. What has A. Peterson done to us here? Okay, it is definitely to do with the red line. That's all that we've got to go on. Maybe the red line can't even go 4 cells for some reason. So if that was 4, that would be 9. This would be 1, 2, or 3, and that would be 8. Oh, well, okay, let's think about these other boxes. I suppose that's what I should have been doing. If 5 is a between line, you'd really struggle to have a German whisper that was also a between line. If you had 1 at one end and 9 at the other, I mean, I suppose you could then. This can't do that. And this would have to have 5 cells in box 2 at least. But no, it wouldn't, because it could go through other boxes to finish in box 5. I mean, it is not trivial to say I am really not understanding how we can make progress here. I just don't get it at all. Each line has a distinct colour. This is red. What? Well, if it's a 10 line, I think it is quite limited in how it begins. It can't begin with a 4 or a 6. We worked that out. If it's it can't actually begin with a 7, because this would be low 1 or 2, and then you would break that with the next whisper move. So if it was a 10 line, it would have to begin 2, 7, 1 or 2, 8. But why should I imagine it has to be a 10 line? Box 4 is a same difference line. I've got nothing here. I don't know how I do any digit. 3, 8, 2, 9. 1, 8, 3, 9. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's not enough information. I'm absolutely certain. I'm just going to rewind to the last point I cleared the fog in case I am missing some sort of grey square funkiness. Where did I do it? There. There's no revealed grey squares. I'm not having it. Okay, that's not it. What is it? What is going on? So that's where we are. 2. Right, the line has to get through this box, but it doesn't have to do it all in row 1. It could do that. But it does have to have at least 3 cells in row 1. It's just the location of the box line's ends that determine its types, nothing else. Just rechecking the rules because I don't understand how to proceed. Two, 7, 1 would work if it was a 10 line, and 2, 8, something low. It would probably have to go 1, 9, I think, because the next, oh, maybe that's worth thinking about. What is the next high digit after this? Because it's still going to be in the same box. Forget maybe for now the 10 line hypothesis. If that's 1 or 2, okay, I've only just thought of this interesting fact about a German whisper line that is forced to move orthogonally, as in this puzzle. every one of the line digits, apart from its ends, cannot be monogamous. Because it's two... No, that's not true. Sorry. If it did that, this doesn't have to be monogamous because they can be the same as each other. No, okay, that was just a bit of nonsense I was thinking about. Didn't come true. Can I rule out that the line goes this way? I don't see how I can. I mean, maybe I could rule out that it finishes as a 10 line. That might be a useful thing to do. So for it to finish as a 10 line, we either start 2-8 or 2-7-1. Now 1, well, yeah. What digits can you put on it if it's a 10 line? Three can never be next to 7. So 7 can only go on the line sandwiching a 2 and a 1 in a segment that adds up to 10. And 1 can go on the line next to 9. Oh, and 2 can go on it next to 8. And you can't get other segments that add up to 10 on the line. So if this was a 10 line as well, it's made up of segments of 1, 7, 2, 2, 8, and 1, 9. I was going to say, so it can't come through row 3 at all, but I'm not seeing that as true. It could use a 7 or a 2 there. Is it really this? I mean, it does see a lot of the cells on the yellow line. The ones it doesn't see are on the ends and there. Can't be a 9 because although it doesn't see the 9 on the yellow line, it sees a different one. This can't be 2, 7. This could be. I just can't see how we can do anything at this point. This must be the sticky point of the puzzle. It really, I mean, it's so different from what we did to begin with. And I wasn't brilliant with that, but we got it done. So the blue line goes to here, and then it goes somewhere else. Now, it's all about the red. Why can't I see something interesting in the red line? Why? I just don't understand. If it went... Are there difficult digits to fit in rows 1, 2, 3 if we assume these don't go anywhere? There wasn't a maximum size on the lines. There really wasn't. German whisper. Adjacent digits must differ by at least 5. I mean, I know that rule full well. Okay, if that's low, 4, 9, this would have to be 1, 2, or 3. Meeting in one of these cells with 6, 7, or 8. Not 6, because that would have to have 2 neighbours that see each other. So 4, 9, and then one of these would be 7 or 8. But we don't, okay, are there, I mean, it has to end somewhere and not in this box, so it has a different quality. It can't be a same difference number, a box 4 number, because even in those 3 cells, that has a different difference from that number and that number, because it goes in the same direction and they're different. I don't think it can be a between line, because surely 9 or 1 are going to be on it somewhere in box 2. I think we can rule that out entirely. even if you began with a 2, and that was 7 or 8, and you ended with a 9 somewhere here, you're just not going to get enough 7s, 8s, 3s and 4s on the line to make it up. It would have to go kind of 2, 8, 3, 9 in one of those cells. 2, 8, 3. Oh, and then you'd have 9 on the line. That's no good. Okay, it can't. Okay, fair enough. It can't be a between line. It's impossible. Can it be modular? Now, then it's the same as this with modular and whisper. And what did we discover before? We'd perhaps beginning 2, 9. Well, it would have to end in this box. I mean, it would be incredibly hard, and you would have lengths of the line that defied the possibility of enough non-monogamous digits to do it. So I'm not having that. It's not modular. It can't be Nabner because it would have to get down there, and a Nabner line's maximum length is 5. It can't be region sum actually either. Okay, well, I mean, this is going somewhere because region sum would require each region to be the same. And this is a whisper line, and the closest you could get to doing that is having a 7 here and a 1, 2, 4 set here. But by whisper rules, that would break. Can it be non-entropic? Which entropic means, yeah, it can't be entropic and be of any length at all because the mid numbers can only have one neighbour. So you can't have a second. You can't have a line of length 5 and have 2 mid numbers on it. I don't think. Not even with cunning cornering. The mid numbers absolutely blow that. Right. Okay, well, that's extraordinary. I did not expect this at all. But what I have now discovered is this line cannot end in boxes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Well, we know it can't end in box 2, so it does end in box 1, and it is a 10 line, and that's amazing. And we worked out it has to begin with 2, so that's a 2. And this is 7 or 8, and then the next digit on the line is low and is 1 or 3. But I don't think 3 works on a 10 line because that, say this went 2, 8, 3, that 3 would then be next to a 9, and that would break the 10 line. So it's 2, 7, 1. Oh my goodness, it's right. That was incredibly hard. You had to rule out every other line, every other dual line type. That's madness, Peterson. I don't know. I wish I'd been more methodical. Anyway, this is not 1, 8 or 2, 7 now. It's 3, 6 or 4, 5. This is an even... Oh, we're on a whisper. So this is not 6 because that couldn't be 1 again. This is 8. This is low and it's not 1 or 3. It's 2. This is high. It's 7 or 9. Oh, we've got a 10 line going on, which I'd forgotten. I don't think we can put 7 here because we're starting a new 10 segment here. And 7 low low is not allowed by German whisper. 7 low low is not allowed by German whisper. 7 3 is not allowed by German whisper. This is a 9, and that's a 1 to finish the line. And we've done another line. And once we worked out how to do it, it was fine. But it was incredibly hard to rule out all of the other possibilities. I say again. Right. This can't be a 6 because if that's a 6, this is 4, 5, and that's a 3. Just telling you what I'm seeing now. Well, I've got no new lines revealed in all of that work. Oh, that's going to make me cry. If the step I did wasn't actually the next step, and I've somehow blundered into a correct deduction that is incredibly difficult and unnecessary, That's quite upsetting. Ah, where does 2 go in this box, in box 5? It doesn't go there or there by sudoku. It doesn't go here because that's a pair adding up to 9 and it can't have a 7 on. So 2's in one of these cells. Now, what does that mean for us? Anything at all? I just noticed we did get a different size of grey cell, of grey square. Now, this is a between line. Come on, Mark, come on. 297, this digit is 13845 or 6, but this line could be so short. Why have I not been able to reveal anything else? There's a 2 in one of those cells. This line must be doing something now. That's 3, 4, 5 or 6. Oh, this also can't be the 2, 7-bit, and this can't be the 2, 7-bit. This is the 2, 7-bit, and we know the order. That's what we do. There we go. Now we have new lines. What else do we have? We have a 7 in one of those cells. We have a line here that... Oh, we have this line. We know both ends. Right, box 6 and box 8. So this is modular and region sum. So that digit adds up to those two, and it's modular. And we can't use 2 or 9. So if that was an 8, that wouldn't work because the other two modules don't add up to the right sum. If that was 7, no, again, that won't work. This is either... am I dimly remembering that you have to have a modulo 369 number in this pattern? If this was 6, it does work with either 2, 4 or 1, 5 here, although 2, 4 would be ruled out. If this was 5, no, 1, 4 and 2, 3 aren't allowed. If it was 4, 1, 3 aren't allowed. If it, yeah, okay, this is 3 or 6, but it can't be 3 because of that 2, so it's 6. And then this is 1, 5 because of... Oh, that didn't... Okay, I've been misled. Why did I think on a modular line... Oh, this is not a region sum line. I'm so sorry. This is box 9. This is modular and entropic. Oh, that's weird. Right, so it has 1 from each horizontal piece of the keyboard and 1 from each vertical piece. And we're not using 9 and 2. So... if we did use 5 on this line, then we'd have to use 7 from the high digits and 3 from the lows. So it could be 5, 7, 3. Now the alternative is that we use 8 on the line. Oh, but then we're taking a pick out of 1 and 4 and 1 out of 3 and 6. Oh, bother. I don't think I can use this line yet then. Oh, well, that's annoying. What about this one? This starts in box 8, which is region sum, which I understand a bit better, but it could be 2 and 2. That's not good. Okay, but this green line obviously goes up to this box. So the blue line either turns south and finishes there or comes out here. Now, is that impossible for some reason? Oh, there's got to be a 9 in this box. Good Lord, that's very obvious suddenly. So this is a 2-9 pair. That's just sudoku. 7's over here. These, oh no, it could be a 1-8 pair. I was going to say they're from 3, 4, 5, 6 and form a quad. That's not true. 7's over here. 2 and 9. Oh, there's a 9 now in one of these cells. That's not going to help me. Why was that line so annoyingly unhelpful, even when I worked out what it really was? Ah, now, 2 or 9 there, so can this be... it can definitely be a fairly truncated between line. There's no problem there. Can it not do that somehow? I don't think there's any problem there either. Oh, goodness, how can this prove so tough all the time? 9, 2, 7. I'm really struggling today. Maybe it's me. Okay, what can this be in conjunction with that? So if this was 1, 8, then this would definitely be 3, 5, 7. If this was 4, 5, there'd be a 6 on here and a 1 and an 8. I'm just going to aid memoir the possibilities. 3, 5, 7, 1, 6, 8. And if this was the other possibility, which is 3, 6. So we've used 3, 6, 9 and 2. There'd be a 1 on here. And it's either 1, 4, 8. No, that's not possible. This can't be 3, 6. Oh, that's vital. It can't be 3, 6 because that's used up all the 3, 6, 9 modulo digits. So this is either 4, 5 or 1, 8. And this is either a 3, 5, 7 or a 1, 6, 8 line. So let's think about the rest of the things in the column. 3, 5, 7 there, 1, 8, 9, 2, then we'd have a 4, 6 pair in those cells. If it's 1, 6, 8, that's 4, 5, that's a 7, and that's a 3. And this is definitely from 1, 8 or 4, 5. That's definitely from 3, 6 or 4, 5. This one can be from either, I think. Got a 2, 9 pair there and a 2, 9 pair there. If that was a 6 and this was a 3. Oh, look, there'd be nowhere for 3. Yes, yes. 3, 6 is in one of those pairs on this line. And they all see that cell. So that's 4 or 5. This is now a 3, 6 line in this box. And this is 4 or 5. Now we've had 3, 6. So this is not 4, 5 because it would break that cell. It's 1, 8. Wow, this is 4, 5. And this is a 1, 6, 8 line. And that is a 7, and we get a 3 at the bottom. That is so clever. How can this puzzle be that hard? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Oh, goodness. 2 more lines revealed. This one, well, this one, no, it could get out of the box, couldn't it? It's either entropic only, or it's entropic and modular, which is the same as this, effectively. I want to do sudoku because I'm so bad at everything else. Two, 9, 4, 5. Oh, there's a 7 down here somewhere. It doesn't have to be on this line. There's a 9 somewhere. There's a 2 over here. Again, I am just not getting what's going on. This line can't have 2 on 9. Oh, we've got 2, 9 there, 1, 8 there. Whatever this digit is in one of those cells. And that's a sort of effective 4, 5 pair in the row. And this one is 3, 6 or 7 as a result. 4, 5 pair here. 2, whatever that is in one of those two. 6, 8, this line then. It's got to have a 9 or a 6 on it, as its 369 number. It's got to have a 1 or a 2 on it as its low number. I'd love to know what this digit is so I knew what that pair was, but... Oh, this grey line, right, this is entropic. So that's a 3. So these aren't from 6. No, entropic means they're not from 2 or 1. So 1 is not in those cells. 1 is also not in that cell because of this 1,8, or that one because of that. In fact, it's very obvious that when there's a 1,8 there, there's a 1,8 there, there's a 1,8 down here. So I should just work that out. But if this line was to carry on beyond that cell, this would have to be a 1. That is what I'm going to say now, because it's the only low digit that we could then run into. This is, well, we don't know where this line ends. If it ends in R, it doesn't end in this box. That's the absolutely key thing here. It doesn't end in box 8 because it would be a region sum line, and these would have to be 1 and 2, and they can't be. Right, that's absolutely straightforward. So this line goes out of the box, and it must do it all along the bottom row. So that is a 1. Good. Okay, that's something. This pair is 8 and 3 at least, is 11. So this has to add up to at least 11. Yeah, that's okay. Now, these two are the same, what is it? The same entropy, if that's the word. They're either from 4, 5, 6, or that's a 9 and this is 7 or 8. Oh, does this line have to have a 2 on it down here? Not necessarily down here. It could have a low digit there. There's a 3 in one of those cells. That's just sudoku now. 1. Okay, come on, this even sum line. Is that region sum line? 8 and 3 is the minimum, is 11. That could be 7 and 4, and it could end there. Now, what is the middle box? It's a between line box. Well, okay, I don't think it can ever end there. I've only just figured this out. This has been available for a while. I don't think that the green line can end here, because if you had the highest digit on the line there and the lowest digit there, you'd need the, if you had two cell sums, you'd need the highest and lowest in one box and the middly ones in the other to make them work together, and that couldn't work with the between line. So the line doesn't end here, but it could just turn here, and that would probably be all right in some way, as long as that was the 2. Oh, that's really interesting. But it could also, of course, turn here and not be a between line at all. Oh, my head's wrecked now. I don't know what's going on in this puzzle at all. Right, let's have a think about some other digit. Or this, but well, I've never fancied this being true, but I haven't been able to rule it out at all. And if it's not, blue goes that way, and then, well, no, green could turn right or left. And we've got this grey, which is in box 7 and is a Nabner. That's a Nabner. This is a Nabner on the bottom row. Come on, that must be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Oh, it's probably the puzzle has actually become a giveaway, and I just haven't realised. Oh well, we're there now. Are we there now? No, but we're starting. Right, this is 4 or 6 by sudoku, and that is the middly digit in this set of 3. This one is therefore 2 or 8. Got to be. And this one is the other polarity and is 1, 7 or 9. Now this is also a Nabner line heading up here, but a much less helpful one. This pair, 1, 5, 9, 7, 2, we're selecting now from 3, 4, 6 and 8 in this box. So this pair, which is definitely region sum, either adds up to 11, 12 or 14. And if this goes round the corner to here, Those two are still obviously entropic, so they have to be from the same polarity. They could be 1 and 2. These are obviously even in the corners down here. Gosh, I just don't know where this puzzle is going next, or where I'm going with it. 5, 9, 2, 1, 8, 7. That is 3, 4, 5, or 6, and this is definitely a between line. And this one is 3, 4, or 6 by Sudoku. So we're getting quite restricted here. But I don't know which of these is higher or lower than the other one, annoyingly. 1 is in one of those cells in this row, and 8 is in one of those 3. These are from 1, 6, 7, I've only just noticed, given everything they see. If that was 1 or 6, that's a triple, and this is a 3, 8 pair. Stop ifing. 2, 9, 3, 4, 6. These are from the same modularity. These are from different modularities. Isn't that weird how those sort of relationships just feel so unnatural? 2, 9 pair. 1, 1, 1, 7, 7. This Nabner, I don't know if it goes up there. It could turn. It could be only 3 cells long. Does it have to have an 8 on it? That would be quite interesting. No. I mean, it could be 1, 3, 5. And if it had a high digit on it, that could be a 9 here. So, no, I don't have that kind of wherewithal to announce that. Oh, I've taken 7 out of that cell. This is a 4, 5, 6 triple. So that's 4, 5, or 6. That's probably not going to do anything for me. 7, 1, 5, 9, 3. That was so easy when I finally saw it. I wish it had done more. 3 there. One of these is a 3. Can I rule out this going into box 6 where it would be modular as well? And would it help if I did rule it out? I don't think it would. It couldn't help. One of these is a 7 by Sudoku. Now that meant if this line did go to a 4th cell, these two would both be high. They would be... they would be... No, they might be 7 and 9, but this would be 2. Because it couldn't be 8. But if 7 is there and the line stops in the corner, that can still be an 8. That's the only way this can be an 8, with a 7 above it. And then that's a 1, 6 pair. Oh, that doesn't work, actually. Right, this can't be an 8 in the corner, because that couldn't be a 7 on the line. That would be 7. This would be 1, 6, and that couldn't be 9 on the line. And we've ruled out everything else by Sudoku. So that's not an 8, that's 2 in the corner. And look, the line has finished. This isn't 1, this is 7 or 9. These aren't 2. And it's a pink line starting here. It's got to be 3 cells long. It's entropic as well. And we've had both low digits there. Oh, what's going on? I should be understanding something here. 2, 1, and 3 have gone in this column. So these 2 digits don't have a low digit on. They're from the other 2 polarities. One is 4, 5, or 6, and the other is 7 or 8. One of them is going to form a triple with those. Oh, come on, help me. Help me, Rhonda. What's going on? This is so weird that I can't make any progress with everything I do. What's this then? This is A Nabner, definitely. But what else? 3, 4, 6, 8. If that's not a 1, this is a 3, 4, 6, 8. That would have to be 5 or 7 by sudoku, which is slightly interesting, but not much. Okay, this digit can't be 1, 2, 7, or 9, or 3. 4, 5, 6, or 8 are left. If it was 8, that's a 6-1 pair, and that's an 8, and that's an 8. All of these would be 8 if this column 9 digit is an 8. And that's an 8. What does that mean? Lost for words again. 3, 8. Okay, this is going to have to find a low digit. Could it be a 1 here if it turned? Then that would be an entropic region. That would be an entropic region. This would be effectively an entropic region. That would be a 6, 8 pair, and that would be a 1. So if this line turns, that's a 1. This is a 6, 7 pair. 9, 4, 5. This would be an 8. If this line turns, that's an 8. And that's not possible because we've put 6 and 8 down here. Wow, I mean, that's complicated, but this line doesn't turn. Let me explain that again. And it may be viewable in a more simple way than I'm seeing, but this is what I'm seeing. If this line turned, that's a trio, one from each of middle, low, and high. So's that, so this must be in the box. That's a 6, 8 pair. A 1 there makes that a 6, 7 pair, and in this column that makes 4, 9, 5, and oh, 1 here. That's not what I thought. I thought it made it an 8 here. Oh, good thing I checked. If that's a 1, that's a 1. Maybe whatever that is here. If that's a 6, that's a 1, 7 pair. No. 7, 9. I think whatever this is the same entropy as that. I can't pencil mark that. I don't know how to do it. I have not got the skills. Let's go back to the between line then. If that's a 3, this is bigger. And the between line ending is bigger still then. Oh, this Nabner, what about this? If it goes outside the box, it goes into a same difference line. Actually, that's not too hard for a Nabner to fulfill a same difference requirement. Okay, if this is 7, that's 4 or 5. Then we have to find a low digit next, either 3 there or 1 there. And that would have become a 9. No, yet again, at a loss, can't see where we're going. Totally stuck. It's so strange. That's 2, 4, or 5. There's a 7 in one of those two. For that to be a 1, I mean, yeah, why not? This would have to go out. For either of those to be a 1, this has to go straight up. Now, if this does go straight up, that is definitely a 3. That doesn't do anything, does it? I knew you were going to tell me that. This line. Okay, this line is a region sum line and something else. It either adds up to 11, 12, or 14. So if it was 11, 9, 2, 8, 3, 1. These are from 4, 5, 6, 7. We've worked out it can't be 2 and 2. So that could be 4, 5 with a 2 to follow here or here. Well, it can't be here because you couldn't maintain differences, or 4, 5, 2 there with 8 here. I think that does work. Ah, that can't be 4, 5 because it breaks that. So it would have to be 4, 6. So if this went 8, 3, this would have to be 4, 6. Oh no, we can't, I can't turn left because that's a region sum boundary. I can't go straight on, surely. That's too much. I don't know. Since I don't know if the blue line turns down, I don't know what I can get away with. Ah, it's madness. 4, 5, 6. 5 is in one of those two cells. Now, if it was there, that's a 4. Five on a between line end doesn't seem plausible, but I don't know if any other rules apply to the between line digit. 2 is in one of those cells. That's not very helpful. It must be these lines that I can make progress with if I can just figure it out. And you know I can't. You've been watching me not figure it out for a long time. If that was a 9, this is a 7. And that's a 1, 6 pair, and that's an 8. So then it's 9, 7, 1, 6, and that has to be a 4. This then has to be a 5, 8 pair. So if that's a 9, we've got a 5, 8 pair moving up to a 3 here. And this is a modular. Well, that doesn't work. 5, 8, 3. Ah. So, okay, well, that's fine. At least it doesn't work. If this is a 9, this whole thing doesn't work, because that line, this becomes a 7. That's a 1, 6 pair. That's an 8. That's a 1, 6. And that's a 4. 9, 7, 4, 1, 6. This is a 5, 8 pair. And that's already broken. Well, no, it's broken if it goes up here, unless it comes out of that box again. Hang on. If it manages to get out of the box again, 5, 8, 3. 6, 9. Is that genuinely allowed for this line to curl round there? I think it actually is. It's just about to say, well, at least we know that's not a 9, and stick a 9 in there, and now I can't do it because this line could come back into its own box and go 5, 8, 3, 6, 9. That's nearly upset me quite badly. If that's a 9, this is a 7, and that's 4 or 5. So, does that do anything else? I don't think it does, you know. Can this be a 5? That would be 6 or 8. If I could rule that out from being a 5, at least I'd know 5 was in one of those two. I don't think that's going to help anyway. Let's not focus on that. Really struggling here. I mean, you're watching it, I'm living it. It's tough for all of us. Believe me, it's not just me. I know that. X-wings I'm missing, something like that. I just want to find something out about the puzzle. Is it too much to ask? Right, if that was a 7, that's a 7 as well. And that's a 9. Can't see the problem again. Just stuck. Stuck. It's a very clever idea for a puzzle, but it's a very, very hard puzzle. Or I'm exceptionally slow. I certainly have been a bit boneheaded about some of the things we've had, but it really is tough to keep going, especially, I was so near fixing that as not a 9. Let me just briefly think about this again. If that's a 9, we've got 7 here. That's a 1-6 pair. That's 8. That's 1-6. So we would definitely be going 9-7-4. That would be a 5 for what it's worth. This is 1-6. 8. That's a 3-7 pair then. 9-7-4. Now this 9-7-4, 1-6. This becomes a 5-8 pair, and that can't survive if the pink line ends in box 6 because it's broken that rule. But the pink line could stay alive by curling round and ending in box 9 again. In that 9, so it would go 5-8, low, which is 3-6-9. That would be 1, that would be 8. This would be a 7. I'd love to find that that was suddenly impossible, but I mean, it's so complicated and so difficult to see. Okay, let's go back to the green line. If it ends in box 5, it's a between line. Now, we've established that's not possible to be 4 cells. And it's a region sum line as well. So if it went up there and ended there, well, okay, we've established it's not possible to be 4 cells. We have. If it ends in box 5. If it ended there, 10, 12, 16 or 17, it would have to be an even total of 28. They'd have to add up to 14. We'd have 8, 6 here, 3, 4, 7 here, and 8 would be the highest digit on the line. 3 would be the lowest. 6 and 4, 7. 3, 4, 7 here. This would be a 5, 6 pair. And that would be 5, that would be 6. This would be the 9 at the end of that little line. Oh, maybe there's a digit I can rule off here. Just one digit, like 6. Well, let's start with one digit. If 6 was on here, that would be adding up to 12 or 11. And this is definitely a region sum line. That is where I should be working, on this green line. This is 11, 12 or 14. If we tried not to have 7 on the green line in this box, we'd be working with a minimum of 6, 5. And that would keep the line down to 2 cells, but then the line could leave the box, of course, which is an evil thing that it keeps threatening to do. It's like blackmail. And a very cruel and elaborate form of it, if you ask me. I cannot see what we're meant to be able to do here. I'm going to persevere though, because the puzzle is fascinating. I just want to know how it works. Desperately want to know. 9, 1, 7, 2, 4, 5, or 6. 3 and 8 are up here. 8, 8. Come on, man. 4, 5. If that is 4 or 5, so this can't be a 4, 5 pair. So 3 or 6 are here. It's got to be this green line. It's got 8 there. If this was 14, then you're not getting enough in box 5 from those two. 8, 6, 7, 5 pair and 2 there. That works fine and is incredibly annoying because it's quite likely to be right. 8, 4 would be 12 here. You'd have to have 7 and a pair adding up, or well, it couldn't be a pair adding up to 5 because 2 and 1 are gone. So that would have to be, if this was 8, 4, that would be 7, 5, and that would be broken. Okay, this can't be 8, 4. We can't get to 12 here. Oh, that's including the 7. How about if we don't include the 7? The 7's here. That's a 5. If this is 8, 4, that's a 5, 9, 2, 1. If we're saying that's a 7, this is 6, 3. And then we need another 3. We can't do that and stay in the box. Okay, it's not 8, 4. Hurrah, something done. Is it 8, 3? That 8, 4 was good because it made that a 5. And that gave us something we could actually hang our hat on. Now, 4 is now in one of those cells in this box, which is a discovery that I haven't had before. I will take literally anything at this point. Now, it doesn't help, but I've seen it. Okay, so 8, 3 makes these, the green in this box have to add up to 11. If that's with a 7, then this is 7, 4. You couldn't do it with lower numbers. Yeah, okay. So if it's with a 7, it's 7, 4, and that's 6, and that's 5. Now, the line would then have to leave the box and become either a same difference line, which it couldn't possibly be with 8, 3, 7, 4. That's impossible. So it'd have to come down to this and be Nabner, and that's impossible. Right, good. There is no way. So it can't be 8, 3, 7, 4. So it's not 8, 3. This is an 8, 6 pair. Done. And this is a 3, 4 pair. Done. And this line adds up to 14, and it doesn't leave the box. Well, or does it? Because now we've got a different, well, we'd have to go 8, 6, 4, 2 to maintain the same difference thing. We can never get back to the Nabner line, it will be too long. Can we get into this same difference box? I think the answer's no. Because 8, 6, 4, 2, 4, but you haven't made the total. No. So we're going to finish in this box. We're not going to, and it's therefore a between line thing, and therefore it can't be all of those cells because we have to add up to 14. That would be 7, 4, 3. Oh, could it be those? Okay, it could be those with 7, 4 there and 3 there. We already know this is a between line thingy because it ends in box 5. So that's an 8 and that's a 6. And that's not 6 and that's not 8. Okay, and that's not 6. Let's do everything we can. Now, oh, we've got a new line. This is a Nabner line and a same difference line. 9 and 7 are gone. So if they're odd, well, if they're all odd and moving in 2s, it's 1, 3, 5. Now, let's just keep on the green line. We've got to make the green line add up to 14, and it's not 2 cells long. If it's 3 and goes there, it's 3 cells long, and either goes that way or that way. If it goes there, this is a 7, 4 pair, and that's a 3. And then we have 5, 6. This has to go 5, 6, 9. Now, the alternative is that we go round there, and this is 5, 7, 2. So it's either 5, 7 or 7, 4. And now 6 is up here on this line. Actually, I could have known it was either 7, 4 or 7, 5 because that digit had to be in one of these. Well, no. 7 is now down here on this line because it can't be here. I said it can't be here, not it is there. There we go. So that is 3 or 6. Oh, it's seeing a 6, so it's 3. Is it not able to be 4? Have I got that wrong? Let's restore 4 in case I've just forgotten that this could be 4 for some reason. 8's in one of those cells and one of those. Do I have to think about this line? I don't want to. Yeah, I want to keep on this one. It's either 752. Okay, what happens to this then? If this is 752, this line has 3, 4, 6 on it. This is one of the more extreme ends. Oh, it's going to have to end, it can't run on and end in the Nabner box because that's too long for Nabner. It would have to end in this box, and with 3, 4, 6, it couldn't. Oh, but it could stay in this blooming box here and be 3, 4, 6. So annoying. And that's if it went this way. If it goes straight up and it's 7, 4, 3, then what's happening here? These are from 4, 5, 6. And indeed that becomes a 5. On the end of this line, that's a 4, and that's a 6. And this line then has to go 5, 6, 9. I think we've established this line is a 3, this blue line is a 3-cell line. It either goes 5, 6, 9, or 6, 4, 3. Five, 6, 9, or 6, 4, 3. I reckon that's truth. Now I've got a 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's no 3 on that part. This is a 3. Bam. Hurrah. Now we can see the shape of the line. So that's a 5, 7, 2. This is therefore a 6 and a 4. And now we can do 5 and 4 and 3 and 6 and 4 there and 5 here. And 4 and 3 down here. That's a 9. Wow. This puzzle has beaten me around the head and body and left me in a wreck, crying on the kitchen table. Look at this pink that's got revealed by that 4. This goes there, does it? So that is the same polarity as that. Now, what do we know about that? We must know something. Anyway, this is a 187 triple, and that one can't be 7, and that one can't be 1. Let's get rid of all the corner marks. Perseverance is going to finally pay off today, I feel. Although we will see. Maybe I'm still being hubristic. It's not impossible. Oh, this blooming line. Right, if the differences were 1, don't know. Same difference and Nabner. Oh, the differences can't be 1, because that's the Nabner rule. Okay, so if the differences are 3, this is 1, 3, 5, which would have to be a 3 in that cell, and 1 and 5 around. Now, there are other ways for it. It can't be a difference of 4, because that would involve 1, 5, 9. It could be a difference of 3, and then it would be a modulo set, basically. It can't be 3, 6, 9, or 1, 4, 7. It would have to be 2, 5, 8, and it would be in this order. 2, 5, 8, and not only that, it would break that cell, so it's not that. So it is a 1, 3, 5 line with 3 there, or is it? I've missed a possibility, haven't I? I bet I have. If it was a, no, let me think. It can't have a difference of, it has same differences. It must ascend or descend. It can't have a difference of 1, because that's the Nabner rule. If it has a difference of 2, oh, I only did the odd version that was 1, 5 with 3 in them. It could be even. In which case 6 or 4 are in the middle, but it can't be 6. So it would be 4 in the middle with 2 or 6 either side. So it's either, okay, and we did rule out 3. 2, 5, 8 would break that. 3, 6, 9 would break that. 1, 4, 7 would break that. And we've ruled out 4 because it would be 1, 5, 9. Okay, good. We've got all the differences, and this is 3 or 4. This is either a 1, 3, 5 line or a 2, 4, 6 line. Gone. Okay, this pink thing. Oh, this pink thing, we now know it's modular as well as Nabner. Well, that's got to be huge. It's modular as well as Nabner. And this... well, there is a low digit in these three cells. It definitely goes this way. Yes, there is a low digit in those. It's got to be a 3 and it's got to be there. Now, does that do anything somewhere across the puzzle? No, of course it blooming doesn't. This is not, obviously not low now. There's a medium, a middly and a high there. There's a middly and a high here. So these include a middly, a high and a low. Oh my goodness, how can we still be struggling? Or is it, I know, how can I still be struggling? It's not you. You've understood this puzzle a long time ago. It's just me. Come on, what's this line doing? How could we get that and not anything else? This is 6, 7 or 8 in the column. This is not allowed to be 4 or 8. It's 5, 6 or 7. The only way for it to be large is if it's a 7. Then that's a 7 as well. Let's just see what happens with 7s then, if anything. Not a lot. Oh, hang on. Either this is 1, 5 or 2, 6. That's using the other one of 2 or 5 from there. So they're definitely used up in a virtual pair. That's not going to help. It's not going to help. Oh, goodness gracious. 2. No, I don't know what is going to help. Right. 3 there. This is the same... well, the same polarity and entropy as that. So it has to be the same digit. So if it's the same polarity and entropy, it's like the intersection of the horizontal and vertical slices of the keyboard. So that is the 6 or 7. Now that doesn't tell me whether it's high or medium, or whether it's low, whether it's 3, 6, 9 or 2, 5, 8, but it has to be the same digit. Isn't that bonkers? Let's just colour them. If that's a 6 now, that's 7, 9, 1, 8. It can't be a 6 because then there'd be nowhere to go up here if it was in those two cells. So that's a 7. That's going to finish the puzzle, actually. I've made declarations that mad before, but I've really got a feeling that is going to do it. This cell is different entropy, so it's not 8, and it's different modularity from 7, so it's 5. And that places 5 at the top there. 4, 6 pair, that's an 8. 8 on the blue line is there. This is 1 or 4 by sudoku, basically, based on that. Now that can be in either order, that line. This digit, well, yeah, okay, that's 4 or 6. That is not resolved either. I acknowledge that. And now I'm wondering how I felt confident that this would reach across. Right, 7 sees that. 5 and 7 are done there. This is now not a 5, and that means this is not a 6. 6, 7, 2, 8, 5. We've got a 9 in one of those cells, but we can't see any lines in them. This is either 2, 4, 6 or 1, 3, 5. If it was 2, 4, 6, that would be a 4, and this would be a 6, 8 pair. 2, 4, 7, 6, 8. This would be a 3, 9 pair. This would be 5. This would be 1. I don't know. Oh, look, there's a 1, 8, 7 triple, so that's not 1, and that means this isn't 2. So we really are narrowing these down now. Oh, hang on. That's even now. Bingo. So that's 4. And this has become impossible. Okay, I was cancelling out the wrong digits when I took 1 out. So we were here, and I've now noticed this isn't 5 or 1. 5 from there and 1 from there. So it's 2 or 6 and it's even. That's how we get there. That's a 4. This is even, 2 or 6. That's become a 1. My goodness, this has caused trouble. 6, 8 pair there makes that a 2. That's a 5. I am so relieved to be stumbling across the line finally in this puzzle. That's 1 or 3, that's 3 or 8. That is done, 8 and 1. That's now a 3. That was actually obvious before. 5, 9 there, 2, 4 here. This is 1 and 5, but we've got a 1 to tell us which way round they are. And now that clears all the fog. Oh, we've got a new line, unexpected new line. I thought we were going to be able to finish this on our own without a line, but I'm very happy to be proved wrong about that. Doesn't matter at all. And I will study that line in just a second once I put 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight. Right, now I do need this line at this point, and it is entirely in the same difference box. So it's 8, 5, 2. And that does finish us off at least. Whoa, Andy. I don't know if you're Andy, actually. I used to know a guy called Andy Peterson. That's just why I think that's the case. But A. Peterson, you have murdered me today. Nearly an hour and a half. I wasn't expecting that at all. That has been tough, but great fun. Great fun in the end. I was really nonplussed in the middle. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon, and bye for now.